been in the Barrie community for a little more than 30 years. And we provide emotional support, spiritual support, practical support for people that have a life-threatening illness and those that are bereaved. So we do community supports with day programs. We go into your home and do home visits. We have a residential program, so at your active end of life, when you're dying from a life-threatening illness, you can come and stay with us. We have 24-hour care of nursing support for pain and symptom management. And then we also have a program for bereavement, so those that are grieving the loss of a loved one, for any type of loss. It doesn't need to be a loss connected to Hospice Simcoe, but any type of loss, you can contact our bereavement group, and they will help you to just journey through your grief and your bereavement. We could have groups or one-to-one. We have lots of complementary therapies, massage and therapeutic touch and group, so on and so forth. So there's lots of ways that we can help those that are emotionally and physically burdened with end-of-life disease. The pandemic, of course, when it came in mid-March, everything was quite, we tightened up everything. We sent our volunteers home. We sent the majority of our staff home. We still operated our 24/7 nursing care here. Our 10-bed end-of-life care facility was still open, and we were accepting residents and their families to stay with us. But it did just change. We're now doing a lot of screening. Our visitors are restricted to some extent. So that has been a bit of a change for us. Our community programs, like our visiting hospice, we're just starting to go back into people's homes again now with special training for the volunteers. And we're starting to do one-to-one grief and bereavement work. But the majority of it is all virtually. So just like what we're doing now. So things are over Zoom or by telephone support. And actually, we have found it's been quite interesting that our community has adapted to that very, very well, and people are feeling safer to some extent, being at home in the comfort of their home and doing virtual support for their bereavement, or if they are dying at home with a life-threatening illness. So it's been a big change. The staff and the volunteers have been incredibly committed and dedicated and pivoted really, really quickly to ensure that we serve people and meet their needs to the best of our ability during this pandemic. So our hike for hospice has always been the first Sunday in May for many, many, many years. And we have had many families come and join us. So anybody that's been touched by hospice, we come together. We usually come together at Sunnydale Park or wherever the venue may be. Over the years, and we walk in honor of someone that we have lost, and that someone that we're just honoring and remembering. And it was always a beautiful, beautiful day. And unfortunately, this year, as the pandemic has hit, we're not able to have large groups gatherings because last year we had over 700 participants that came to our hike. So we can't do that, and that's unfortunate. However, we need to honor people that we love and that we have lost, that have passed away. So we want to do a virtual hike. So we're asking people to come together for a 10-day sort of period and do a virtual type of hike. So they can hike or bike or walk, jog, whatever they may do over those 10 days. And it's really just a time of honoring and reflecting and remembering their loved one. And it's also an opportunity to raise money for the hike. So last year, for example, with our 700 participants, we raised over $110,000. And that is key. It is truly pivotal to continue our operations, especially during this pandemic. Our costs have gone higher in regards to personal protective equipment, the costs of masks and gloves and gowns and so on, what we need to do. So it is really key that we continue to raise the needed money to continue with our operations. It's a time of change, and we need to adapt. And I think it'll be really interesting to see how people react with the hike. For example, in the past years, lots of families would come together. It would be quite amazing, very touching. They would come and they would walk together, and they would all have matching T-shirts, and they would, have a picture of, for example, their mom on the front of their shirt, and they would say, "Walking today," or "Hiking today for hospice," or "Hiking today to honor my mom." So people this year will need to be a little bit creative on how they're going to still honor and remember and cherish their loved one for this hike. But I'm sure they will adapt and they will need to pivot, just like they have with all the other aspects of their life, and keeping their bubbles and keeping the public health recommendations together so they can walk in small groups. And but still, the goal will be for them to honor and love remember their loved one. So it will be interesting this year to see how people will sort of pivot to a virtual type of hike. But hopefully their hearts are still, honoring hospice and honoring their loved one. So you could go to our website for sure at hospicesimcoe.ca, and you'll see a hike button there, and you can click on there. It will give you the details on what you need. You could call into Hospice Simcoe, and somebody would help you out that way. You could just call us at 705-722-5995, and you can ask questions there. You could also contact our fund development manager, Linda, and Linda would help you out. You could email her. She's just Linda, Lynda, at hospicesimcoe.ca, and you could get some information that way if you wish. You could come to our facility. We may screen you at the front door, but we could give you a paper pledge sheet if you wanted to. There's multiple ways that you could get registered to register for the hike. Yeah, we'd be really excited to see people come and pick up a pledge form or talk to Linda, visit our website. Lots of ways to get connected to our hike for sure. We truly do depend, if those are not aware, we do need to raise about 60% of our operating budget. So it's a little more than, about $1.3 million every year that we raise. So the hike is one of our major fundraisers. And so we, are really hopeful that it's going to be successful. To help to raise that over $100,000 would be very, very helpful for us. So we need to continue to do that and be creative on how we can raise that money so that we can continue to operate our 24/7 organization and provide the community and bereavement supports that we have always done. So we're very hopeful that the community can come together and participate in our hike and help us raise those much needed funds.